In this video, I'm going to show you how to replace your front strut and your Kia Soul. It's located behind your front wheel. I'm going to use a 21mm socket, take off the front wheel. I'm going to use a 10mm socket and remove my brake hose. Bracket, brake hose bracket. Remove your speed sensor bracket bolt on the side of your strut with a 10mm socket. And then also the one in the front with a 10mm socket. Using a 17mm wrench, hold the stud of your link still while you use a 18mm socket to undo the nut. Now you can take it out and just move it off to the side and leave the bottom connected. Take this rubber cap off. You can use some pliers to take that off. Use some rust penetrant. I'm going to use a 17mm socket to loosen up this nut. Once that's loose, we can go back underneath and loosen up, take out those bolts. Using a 17mm wrench and a 19mm socket, we're going to remove our bolts from our strut. I'm going to use a 17mm socket on the head of the bolt to try to back it out. One bolt. Make sure you don't hit your sensor. I have my nut on top still on, so this won't fall when I do get it out completely. Alright, so I like to rest my knuckle on something to get the weight off of it, so I can get the second bolt out. And now I can loosen the nut on the top. And I can free it up and move these things out of the way. Take my strut out. Alright, so now you're going to take your old rubber washer, whatever you want to call that, off. You're going to take off your nut on the new one. Take this one off. Put it on top. And feed your strut through the bottom, the same way it came out. So I made a note of it, seeing that it went through the sensor like this. tighten up your first bolt. And then you're going to go up top and get your nut started. All right, so now you're on top. You're going to start your nut. I'm going to pry up underneath a little bit as I get my nut started if I can't reach, if it doesn't get a thread on. Okay, we have that caught, and now we're going to go below and feed the bolt through. Okay, so now we can get our nuts on. I'm going to snug these up first, and then I'm going to torque them to 130 foot-pounds. Make sure you have your wrench on the other side. And you can torque the bottom bolt. All right. Now we're going to go up top and tighten up our nut. All right, we're going to use an 18 millimeter to tighten this up. We're going to snug it up and then torque it to 44 foot-pounds. Now we're going to connect our stabilizer link to our new strut. All right, once you get it through, you can start your nut by hand, and then snug it down. You're going to put your 17 millimeter wrench on the inside so it doesn't spin. All right, so we're going to snug this down, and then we're going to torque it to 87 foot-pounds. Good? All right, so now we're going to put our brake hose bracket back where it lives, and our sensor. Got it by hand. Just make sure that notch, that brake hose bracket fits inside that notch, just like these. Now that everything's tight, you can put your wheel back on and take it for a road test. Make sure you take your vehicle down to get in alignment. All right, we're going to put our wheel back on. Start our lug nuts. Use a 21mm socket. You're going to snug these down in a star-like pattern. Now that we have the vehicle on the ground, we are going to torque our wheels to 80 foot-pounds with a 21mm socket. We're going to do this in a star-like pattern, and then we're going to check it again.
When only the best will do, demand TRQ. The only company that lets you view before you do. TRQ is committed to offering the highest quality aftermarket auto parts that are engineered for peace of mind. Thanks for using and viewing with TRQ.